All right, we're live. It's a big day. I'm here with Rui Tao and Betty. We are super excited to be talking to you on the day that Kusama has kicked off the beginning of the parachain auction process. So we know that this is going to be starting in about a week. And we've got some information for you today around Karura and our crowd loan that'll be starting very soon. And some other information that you may not also be expecting. So I guess let's start. I guess we can't assume that everyone's met us. So Ruta, do you want to introduce yourself? And then Betty, you can introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the agenda for the day.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Hi, this is Rita. I'm one of the co-founder of the Acala network. I'm in New Zealand and been building the Acala or the Kurua network for over 2 years. Today is the day. Super excited. We are like minutes away from the crowd launch. Probably the best timing to share in this crowdcast. So that's me.
Yeah, hi everyone. Super thrilled to see so many people online with us. I'm Betty, co-founder of Acala, calling in from Auckland, New Zealand. So it's early morning for me. And super thrilled. Actually, we're going to share lots of information today. So stay tuned. Hopefully you get your surprise today as well. So back to you, Dan.
Yep. And then this is Dan Reeser. I'm calling in from the airport in Miami. I just wrapped up an awesome weekend, finally getting to meet a lot of people from other Polkadot projects, non-Polkadot projects, some of the funds that have backed Acala and Karura. So had a great time here and headed to actually see my sister in New York. But let's get into this. So we are going to talk first. I'm going to go over what Karura is. And just if you don't have the background, we'll make that section pretty quick. And then Betty will kind of take over. She'll be walking you through a live demo of what the crowd loan, this custom crowd loan website that we built for you to not have to go through the Polkadot.js website. She'll walk you through that. And that's what it'll look like as soon as the crowd loan goes live, and you'll be able to use that. Then we'll talk a little bit around the Acala treasury and some other events involving the treasury that are coming up pretty soon. And of course, we'll have time for Q&A. So first, what is Karura? So Karura and Acala are what we call sister networks. Acala was the project that first started with the intention of building this DeFi hub for the Polkadot ecosystem. This also includes things like a stablecoin, liquid dot staking, and a DEX. But when the Kusama community came up and we realized how big and how much of a thriving community Kusama had, we realized that there's this huge demand for DeFi in the Kusama community as well, which includes, I think, many of you on this call. So we built Karura for kind of serving that DeFi use case or the DeFi demand of the Kusama ecosystem. Both Karura and Acala were founded by these four individuals. So two you just met, Rui Tao and Betty are our CEO and COO. Fu Yao is another co-founder. He's also the founder of Polka Wallet, and he's based in Shanghai. And then Brian, who is probably going crazy on his laptop right now, he's our CTO. He's the one kind of leading the development efforts around Acala and Karura. And he also leads the Substrate Developer Academy globally and is helping build that global community of Substrate developers, also based in Auckland. Some of these funds that I mentioned I met this weekend are on this slide. So Acala and Karura, backed by people like Pantera and Digital Currency Group, Polychain, Coinbase, Parify, who I met this weekend, and several other great firms. Now, this is a look at kind of the full stack approach that Karura has taken to what we've built. And it's kind of a different category than many people are used to, maybe in the Ethereum ecosystem or with things like Bitcoin, because we're plugging into this multi-chain network. The reason why we're going to all this effort to do this parachain auction and to do a crowd loan is because we want to connect to Kusama for the security of the network that it provides to us, and also the ability to communicate cross-chain with other networks. Sorry, I'm in the airport, so you might hear a little noise. The Karura blockchain here is our kind of layer 1 parachain that we're connecting into Kusama. And within this blockchain, we've built products like our DEX, our stablecoin, the liquid staking, and even an EVM environment for Ethereum compatibility. On top of this blockchain is then gives us the ability to build applications that then plug into these products that we've built at the layer 1 blockchain layer. So as soon as Kurua goes live, or very, very soon after, we will have products like the DEX, our stablecoin, liquid staking will be kind of a phased approach from a kind of a canary version to the full-on decentralized and permissionless LKSM. That's all in our Notion timeline. Robin, maybe you can drop that in the chat for people if they're interested in our roadmap. But this is kind of the look of the full stack approach that we've taken, building both a blockchain and an application layer. This is what the UI looks like if you go to apps.acala.network. As soon as Kurua launches, this will be available through the same website, and there'll probably just be a little toggle in the top left to be able to switch between testnet, which is called Mandala, and then the mainnet, which is Karura for now, and then of course Acala after that. And I mentioned this, but just to briefly recap, these are the main products that Karura will have. So Karura stablecoin, that will be, one reason why we're excited to launch this is because any other subsequent parachain to launch will be able to leverage this Karura stablecoin. So for example, someone like HydraDX could come launch their Basilisk network on Kusama, and then pretty soon after that, be able to integrate the KUSD stablecoin. We also have a Kurua DEX similar to Uniswap, liquid KSM staking, and then of course the Karura Treasury, which will help kind of create kind of a self-sustaining network model for Karura to be able to continue living on. So that's my part. Betty's going to get into the more exciting stuff that I'm sure everyone's excited to see. So take it over, Betty. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Dan. So is everyone ready for what's coming next? Have you got your drinks ready also? I think today is going to be the big day. I mean, not only we're launching the Crowdloan today as we speak. I think some people already picked up on what's happening. So I'll just probably quickly show the screen here. As you can see, Karura is being onboarded as we speak. And I'll give everyone a little bit of context. So none of this crowdcast is staged so that we're launching during the crowdcast. The normal process is once Parity announced the auction yesterday, we kind of gone through the last minute checks. For example, the stuff that we have to do is to actually launch our Genesis, because it doesn't matter whether you win the auction or not. If you cannot actually launch your Genesis and cannot start your blockchain, then it's kind of like you're kind of screwed. So we have to go through quite a rigid test, make sure everything works. And also the second most important thing is to make sure the upgrade works. As you guys know, the forkless upgrade for the substrate chain for Karura is probably one of the most amazing feature, I guess, for the future, for the new generation of blockchain. So for Karura, we're actually launching a chain with minimum logics so that we can make sure the chain is working properly. And then we'll go through a subsequent of many upgrades to enable various different functionalities of Karura. For example, turn on transfer functions, and then later on turn on the DEX functionality, and then turn on other DeFi protocols. So we have to go through testing to make sure that also actually works on Kusama locally before we actually enable our Parathread. So so we are highly confident that this is going to go through really well. Now is probably just about time. Some minutes to wait. And of course, before we actually release any of this to you, we'll actually conduct internal test. I'll put my own KSM on it and then to contribute to it. I think Rita will do the same before we actually let you know the website, and then everyone can actually have their go then. And so I think the plan for now is actually I give you a little bit of preview of what it actually looks like when you go onto the site. So there we go. Okay, so this is not real, right? So don't panic. You're not behind. This is not real. Once it's real, we'll make the link available, and then you can get onto our official website to contribute to the crowd loan. And this is basically the Acala website, the Join Karura site that currently we're doing a pre-registration on. But as soon as we turn this on, you will actually see the right banners and then the contributions going on, and then you can actually participate then. I think Dan is going to send everyone who's registered an email with their referral link, just in case you forgot. And then with that referral link, obviously you will receive 5% of extra bonuses, but there's more, right? So this is what the website will look like. So once you've contributed, you actually see the contribution, and then how your referral is going, and there are multiple ways that you can participate in the crowd loan, right? Because it is a permissionless event. This is not the only way. This is one way, right? So we try to make it convenient for everyone. So you can come to the website. There's also a video that we recorded to help to guide you through the process, and there are also various different exchanges we'll be supporting. Not only Kraken and OKEX, we'll be also adding KuCoin, and I think Huobi is spinning up a service to support us as well. So we'll be adding those links as they are ready, because everyone's kind of waiting for parity and then waiting for us to be ready. So just be patient if you are on those exchanges. And then as for mobile wallets, obviously Poker Wallet is supporting us, and then also Mass Wallet. For Mass Wallet, I think they've got two versions. One is the hosted wallet, the other is the non-custodial wallet, and both of them will support us as well. So as Fearless Wallet as well. I think they've tweeted about it earlier today to kind of preview what's happening. So those are all the so far official supported partners for Karura Crowdloan. And just when you participate in any of these events, just be aware there could be scams going around, and always check with us, and also check with official projects to see if they are known partners, right? And of course, you don't have to participate with any of these agencies. You can go directly onto Polkadot.js apps to participate as well, if that's what you want to do. So just make your own judgment what's most suitable way for you. And of course, if you are on the site, we actually require you to use the Polkadot.js browser extension to participate. I think Polkadot has officially say Ledger is not supported, unfortunately. And then, we are not supporting a Ledger just for this event. We're already working with Ledger for them to support all our tokens as we go live. But as for this particular event, the particular transactions, they are not in time to support it. I'm sure, in the longer term, they are working on the development to support all of these operations. So yeah, so for this event on this website, Polkadot.js browser extension is what you need. And here is to all of those people who kind of already unbounded. This is your time to shine. So in addition to the referral bonuses that you are getting, we are also giving away 10% of KAR on top of that. And this is going to last for 3 days. So also it's not like you don't have to wake up at a certain time or just have to wait in line. It's guaranteed, right? So everyone who contribute to the event in the first 3 days of the crowd loan will get 10% bonuses, right? I hope this is gonna this is probably a way for us to kind of appreciate for many of you who have been around, supported us for a long time, and also been very sort of generous and very supportive. As soon as we announce something, you guys take action. This is really awesome to see a huge community around the world to come together to try to make like history together with us. So yeah, so there you go. The early bird is the surprise and 10%. Feel free to share the words if you like. And I'm here. I've already connected to my Polkadot.js extension, and there is a terms and condition. So there's no KYC, and there's no forced sort of KYC process for our crowd loan. As long as you read and kind of like tick the box and accept the terms and conditions, you are eligible in the Karura Crowdloan campaign, right? And then basically you can just sign the transaction to kind of accept the terms. That transaction doesn't get sent to the chain. It's just a record. So it's not going to cost you anything. So it's free. And once you sign the terms and conditions, you basically put in your KSM amount. And as a reminder, each KSM that you contributed, you will be getting 12 KR as the standard reward, right? And obviously, for those of you who are here, and there's a 10% early bird bonus for you, right? And then on top of that, if you've got a referral link, if you actually land on the page with a referral link, it's actually going to get automatically filled in here, and you're going to get additional 5% of bonus, right? And then the total will come in pretty handy of that number there, adding all of them together. And then, so if you put in your email there, this is obviously optional, right? If you want to receive future emails from Dan, this is where you put the email in. Otherwise, you can just uncheck the box and then you can just submit the transaction there, right? And there, so should have remembered my password, right? Right. So then that's basically the process. It's pretty straightforward. And you need to wait a few seconds because this ultimately will get submitted onto the Kusama relay chain, right? And then once this process is finished, you should be able to see the transaction on Subscan. So this is also one way to verify whether your contribution is successful or not, is always check on the explorers like PokerScan or Subscan to see whether your transaction is actually on chain, right? So so there you go. And then feel free to share the good news on Twitter or Facebook as you may wish. So that is the process that I'm going to share. And I think I'm going to stop a little bit at this point. Dan, do we want to answer some questions? How do we think we should proceed?
I think that works. We've got 34 questions, so what do you think? Maybe we take questions that are specifically about the crowd loan. I think there's going to be questions that are kind of scattered across a lot of categories. So how about I pick out some questions directly related to what you just talked about, and then we can move on to the next topic.
Sure. Yeah.
So what Betty just showed, some people are asking, where's the link? Robin, if you can drop the link, to the Join Kurua page. This is where it will be. It's not. So what Betty just showed is still not live yet. So as soon as this is going to happen, like very, very soon, within minutes. So whenever it's live, if we're still on this call, we'll let you know. And if not, we'll be sending out social and emails and stuff like that. So you guys will all have the link. But it'll be the same link where the pre-registration happened. So hopefully that answers some of those questions. Total time available to participate. So there's going to be, the crowd loan will be open for around 7 days. The auction will start, I need to reread that email, but sometime, it's next Tuesday, I think, on this side of the world. That will last for 7 days. The auction will last 7 days. And then on the end of day 7 is the most exciting point, because that's when we know who was selected as the highest bidder. during the auction. So somebody in the chat might know better than me what that last day is, but yeah, it'll be crowd loan for 7 days, auction for 7 days. So in 2 weeks, if Kurua wins, then we'll be launching in 2 weeks. Some of the other bidders have NFT airdrops for crowd loan participants. Do you have a similar plan? Let's see, Betty, you answered that in the comments, it looks like.
Yeah, the answer is like, of course. But we meant to actually drop it as a surprise. But since you asked, yeah, there will be an NFT. So
sweet. Well, okay. I'm just going to stick to crowd loan questions for now, and then at the end we'll come back to some of these other ones. Minimum for participation is 0.1 KSM.
sorry, what was that?
Just the minimum. So I answered that already. Okay. I'm just
Cool.
reading for the next one. So this person said, Betty mentioned that there will be random lottery draws during the Karura Crowdloan. Will this still be happening? And is there any additional info we can read?
This is replaced by early bird.
Yeah.
I guess you guys can tell us in the chat, like, do you like early bird and everybody get 10% extra better, or a lottery is better?
Okay. So this is maybe Rutao can help. How does the team already know that the number would be at least 12 KAR for each KSM? So how does that work?
Yeah, so the number is the guaranteed minimum, because we are willing to give, for example, X amount of KAR per participation. So the number works out. There's going to be a hard cap on the actual crowd loan what we created. It's actually a very, I would say, ambitious hard cap. It's not a target to hit. It's actually to allow everyone to participate. And in order to achieve the minimum, we are calculating a number to make sure there's enough allocation for everyone to share. So yeah, that's the minimum that we work out. So even if we do hit the hard cap, everyone will be guaranteed 12 plus KSM, KAR.
Perfect. This person in the chat, Zach, said, because of the cap, is it first come, first serve? It's
as I mentioned, the cap is there just to ensure there's a minimum. It's not a target to hit. Once we release the crowd loan, we'll see it's actually a crazy cap. So I'm pretty sure there's always going to be room for everyone to participate. But I mean, if you did ask to the gym, then yes, it will be first comes, first serve. And once you contribute to the crowd loan, you'll be guaranteed the minimum amount of reward.
Yeah, I think we can share that, right? So in the crowd loan that we said, it's 1.5 million KSM with no intention to hit that target. And I think as long as everyone's got in, I think everyone will be happy. I don't think we're going to hit that high number, but we set it so high so that just to ensure everyone can participate, but also at the same time being responsible, right? Not draining up all the KSM for the whole ecosystem. So it's probably a good balance there.
Yep. Pascal said, is it too late to unlock? The answer is no. So we've got a week of the crowd loan, and then the auction's a week. So I would say it's probably time to start if you haven't already. And then you have basically 7 days. So by the time the auction's starting, you'll have some free KSM if you would like to participate. So no, it's not too late. And then this other Rustam said, what if I want to add some more KSM a few days later? So what you'll see when you go through this process on this site that Betty just showed, when you complete the process, it'll show you like your current amount contributed and whatever, but then there'll be another option to contribute again. So you can, there's not a limit to the number of times you can come back and participate. Can I refer myself? The answer is yes, and you actually get both sides of the 5%. So you can do that if you would like. Does the referral code get you anything? Yes, it gets you 5% as the person referring, and then the person who you refer gets 5% also, and that's based on what the person you referred contributes, not what you contribute. Cool. Well, I think that's enough questions around this process maybe for now, Betty. Want to drop the second bomb?
I mean, let's do it. Before we do that, there's one last thing. You can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So there's a check rewards and bonuses here, right? I think once we launch this, it will be quite clear how all of this will work. Basically, you chuck in your KSM address that you use to for contribution. You'll be able to see all the bonuses that you're earning, including your referrals and referees and things like that. So hopefully it's going to make people's lives easier. So yeah, that would just be the last point I'll add. Yeah. Okay, so everyone's ready for the next part. Okay. All right. So we've done the crowd loan, right? And then I think it actually takes a little bit of a step back to look at multiple events that we have planned or we have done so far to actually provide everyone network ownership over time, right? And this is for both Acala and Karura. So yeah. And this is like an overview, right? So the purpose of doing this is, I think many people, well, a lot of people actually come along with Acala since the very beginning, right? So everything we've done and how we do things really well. So every time when there's an event comes up, you'll be the first to jump on it because you know how we do things. But I think there are also many new community members now. They come in at different times. So it will be very good to actually provide an overview picture of how we think about provide ownership to individuals to join a community, and then also what's the trade-off and what is the differences between the different events, so you can pick and choose which event that are more suitable for your circumstances, or you just like them all and participate in all of them, which is also an option. So I'll start from the left to the right, and then I'll explain probably each one of them what they are. So I think it's in April that we've done the first Build Acala 1 event, and that is the event that we actually only included a small community member, and then to actually kind of like acquire DOT and then contribute to our treasury. I'll go into a little bit more detail and explain what Build Acala is, and also why we are doing it in a couple of slides. But now I'll just like give the overall picture. So we've done that, and then the distribution is like you provide us, DOT, and then we distribute ACA and KR to these people, right? So these are sort of the contribution event to the Acala treasury, and then we are currently here about to start the Karura Crowdloan, and then these events in the black boxes, they are users actually kind of like staking their tokens, and then they will get their tokens back. But in return, by staking their KSM tokens, they will actually get KR or ACA tokens, depends on which event you participated, by means of supporting us to get a parachain slot on either Kusama or Polkadot. So this is what's about to happen. And then obviously after our parachain is launched on Kusama, Karura, and there will be the liquidity mining program, right? If we've got time, Rita will go into a little bit more detail of that. But basically, you can participate in various different DeFi protocols, provide liquidity, and then we will also reward you with various tokens, so that we can help together bootstrap our network, right? And then the similar things will happen on Acala, right? and there is a time difference between the Karura Crowdloan and Acala Crowdloan. I think the consensus, well, there isn't a specific consensus, but the rough consensus is once there are 1, 2, or 3, don't know the number exactly, parachain has been successfully launched on Kusama and running really well without any problem. And also, once all the security audits are being conducted, then Polkadot will probably go into a similar process for voting and upgrade, and then announce the Polkadot auction, and that will mark, when Acala will start its crowdloan and trying to bid for the first parachain on Polkadot, right? So so right now we are kind of thinking maybe there were between maybe 5 to 7 weeks, but we kind of have to just as we always do, kind of monitor the situation and then kind of let you guys know as soon as we know more information, right? So right now we don't know how long that will be, but we're just getting prepared for it to happen anytime. And those are the crowdloan auction events and also liquidity programs for both Karura and Acala. And of course, with many of people anticipated whether there will be a Build Acala number 2. And yes, and we are planning for it. We have a lot of feedback from people regarding wanting to participate in such an event, for reasons being, some of them wouldn't be able to participate in crowdloan for one way or another, or they are not quite a DeFi degen and not able to participate in liquidity program either. And then Build Acala event is one way that they can actually, contribute to Acala's treasury, but at the same time, they are able to start, gaining ownership of the network throughout the process. So I will explain a little bit more of Build Acala number 2 today. So you know when that will happen, and then also how that will happen. But before I get into it, just for those who just got here and didn't actually participate, I haven't got so much context. So for the crowdloan event, it works like this. You put your KSM into the Karura Crowdloan. It's actually a locked KSM. You actually get your KSM back, right? So and it's almost like a committed staking event. So you stake your KSM, but you will receive KR as a reward, right? And then the locking period is 48 weeks. And then the reward is 1 to 12. And then you will get your 1 KSM back if that's what you contributed. So this is basically a crowdloan event. And the whole purpose of crowdloan is to help projects to gain critical access to Polkadot or Kusama's network security, so that we can launch, and then so that we can enjoy a very high level of security from day one when we launch. So that's the point, right? And so similarly goes to the Acala Crowdloan, and you basically use different tokens to participate on different network, right? So basically you are staking DOT, and then you are getting AC as reward, and then also helping Acala to actually gain Polkadot's network access. So I won't go into too much detail. And then as for all the terms and stuff, as you can see, there's all question mark and TBD there. And then we will actually know once we get closer to the Polkadot auction, and then we'll let you guys know what those numbers are. And then I won't go into too much detail of this just because of time. So liquidity mining is basically once the network is launched, right? So this is very important that you shall look at, parachains that you support, whether there are things happening after the crowdloan, right? Because that will actually mean you're gonna have more activities happening on that parachain, and also you can make your either KSM or your DOT work after they've launched their parachain. So that's very important. And then for us, the program available as of now is if you participate in any of the DeFi protocols, maintain stablecoin, provide liquidity to the decentralized exchange, the DEX that we have. There are also multiple different pairs, right, of the exchanges. Or you just mint the liquid KSM, you're gonna get various different rewards as well. And then we also have like NFT in play with Kusama or Karura. So there's various ways that we can kind of have fun and play there to actually kind of like create the community and then also bootstrap liquidity. So yeah, so that's that. And then, similarly goes to Acala liquidity mining program. And of course, there will be more detail released once we get closer to Acala launch. And finally, we arrive at Build Acala events. For those who haven't heard of Build Acala, this is an event that we created so that individuals can actually contribute a dot into the event, so that we can actually contribute all of those funds collected onto the on-chain Acala treasury, right? And then in return, we actually distribute both ACA and KAR, right? So this is the event itself. And why are we doing this? This is basically how the Acala treasury is intended to deploy all the tokens in it, right? And as you know, if you're familiar with Polkadot and Kusama, there is a business as usual or ecosystem as usual sort of responsibility of treasury. Those are the things like you're going to fund, for example, security audits, normal operations, upgrades, fixes, etc. So those are this white box here, ecosystem as usual proposals, right? That's not our concern today. Those will be kind of like ongoing operations of the chain and the treasury. The Build Acala is more concerned of infrastructure, critical events, right? So these are the things that are very critical or essential, either to the survival of the chain itself, or the critical operations to ensure it's going to be successful, right? So it's more concern of those like critical points that we need to support the chain for. So the two specific example that I gave here, one is, as for Acala, one of the most important thing is gaining critical access to parachain slots on Polkadot, right? Without this access, the chain will not be operational, right? And then if we don't do anything proactively, we're going to always face such an event that we have to crowdsource funds and then supporting our auctions, right? And then this will be an ongoing sort of obstacle for a parachain to continue to operation. And as you guys know, for the Crowdloan specifically, we have reserved 34% in total of the entire supply, just so that we can get parachain slot in the first few years, so that we're good for the first few years. But of course, as you are doing anything, long term, you will think way longer beyond that time frame. So for us to sustain the operation, and then also with a fixed supply model that we have, so we're not printing any of the tokens for, to reward people for parachain auctions. So with a fixed supply, the Acala treasury is our way to find a way to bootstrap that. So this is why we do Build Acala, so that we can bootstrap the treasury with enough dot in its holding, so that we can, in the future, we can actually bond a parachain slot ourselves and kind of achieve sovereignty by itself. And then the second critical point there is protocol liquidity bootstrap. Oh, I see Brian is here. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so I'll probably finish up. Is Brian gonna say something? Okay.
He is.
Okay, cool. I'll finish this quickly, and then guys, we can have some real parties soon. Yeah, so the second thing is bootstrap liquidity. And obviously we can deploy those dots and then can actually bootstrap, say, Liquid Dot, and then help mint Acala dollar, and then get the whole ecosystem going with enough liquidity. Yeah, so I won't go into too much detail, but basically these are the ways that we can bootstrap Acala treasury, and Build Acala event is certainly the proactive ones that we can fund it upfront. And then other ones will be the ongoing on-chain events that we can fund the treasury. Beyond that, I won't go into too much detail, probably leave this to the next time. This is what happened on Build Acala 1 with very minimum kind of like marketing. There's lots of people participated, and also a lot of people didn't get to participate. So we have Build Acala 2, so that we can include more community members. I won't go into like specifics, but we are going to structure a round to be exclusive for community, and it's also guaranteed allocation. I hope you'll be happy with that. Those are the few things that we've heard feedback, and also tried our effort to actually make that happen, right? And then beyond that, we're gonna have like public open round, right? So and that will be at a later stage that will happen. So I think I will just stop right there so that we can have some good news from Brian for the crowd loan, okay? And then we can come back to this anytime anyway. So I'll stop sharing and then.
Yeah, hi everyone. Happy to join you guys here. So I would like to announce that we have just created the crowd loan on Kusama. So it's live, but please wait, be patient and wait for a few minutes for us to deploy the crowd loan page, and then you'll be able to contribute to the crowd loan with our page. But you can also contribute to crowd loan through other parties and servers, but probably be patient, give a few minutes for everyone to make sure the integration is working and the referral bonus is correctly calculated, the inputs recorded. But in probably half hour's time, then you will be able to contribute the crowd loans.
Yeah, and I would like to mention, like, none of this is staged. It is the pace of how the blockchain works, right? So we actually stayed till late last night, and this morning we wake up early, and Brian was scared to the office, and none of this is staged. We're actually launching the network as we're speaking, launching the crowd loan as we're speaking. Super excited. Make sure wait a little bit until we publish the official crowd loan website. Contribute through the official crowd loan website. I guarantee you to earn the referral bonus. So super excited for that.
There's no hurry, guys. So if you don't get in like the first second, you're not missing out. If you get in the first second without the referral website launched, you're gonna miss out. The referrals and then the early bird, right? So this is not a time box event. So I think just wait for us, and then we'll release the information at the earliest.
Yeah, the early bird is 3 days, so you've got 3 days for that 10%. Besides that, there's not a huge rush.
We designed early bird for 3 days for that particular reason, so that no one needs to rush. If you are sleeping right now, then it's no problem. Just wake up and do it. So.
Yeah, I can't believe how the timing worked out for this. Like the last 2 nights, we've been up in the US time zones till 2 or 3 in the morning because we thought it was going to launch, and then things were getting finalized. So somehow this happened where it launched during this event that we planned last week. So couldn't have worked out any better.
Yeah, and then if you are a Poker Wallet user, I think it's about to happen also, right? So if you should kind of like in the app, you can actually update the metadata, and then it should actually show a Kusama parachain auction banner at the bottom, and then then you will be able to participate once it's ready.
Looks like we have a Peter Morik appearance. I saw Sirag too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and don't sell everything. I think the official recommendation is like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And there are many baskets, right? So as we mentioned, obviously there's a staking still going on. So don't move all your tokens off staking. Everyone should still be responsible for Kusama security. So that's very important. And then the other thing is, there are parachain projects. We are one of them. Hopefully you're gonna help us a lot, but also there are also other parachain projects as well. And then beyond parachain bonding, once Karura goes live, there's also liquidity mining, right? And that actually requires KSM. So don't just bond all your KSM in one place. And there are many events that will happen after that. So yeah.
Okay, Betty, the site is actually live. Our website is officially updated. If you want to contribute, go to acala.network, and then gonna send out the referral link as well to make sure that you Yeah, so this is actually live right now. So
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
on the referral
I'm
link.
gonna do it now.
Yeah, you can do it
Okay.
live. I can also do it live.
Okay, let me share screen.
Nice.
I'm gonna contribute.
Okay. Okay. So this is live. Never done this before. And we'll see what happens. Okay. Okay. Agreeing to the terms and conditions. Oh. Oops. Have to get an account with money. Okay. Do that again. Okay, there we go, guys. This is my, live mainnet 30 KSM. I earned that from Hello World Polkadot Hackathon. I don't know if you guys participate in the events. So it's very happy that I can actually use that for this event. Only gonna do 10. And okay, gonna put in my email. Right. Okay. Let's see. All right, sign a transaction, and it is now submitting it to the Kusama relay chain.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of traffic hitting Kusama right now. I hope it holds. It will definitely hold. But don't worry, like if you actually get a size and the wallet is slightly slow to load, just be patient because with the crowdloan happening, there's a lot of traffic hitting the Kusama network, hitting the Kusama node. Yeah, just be patient, and then this is what you get.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see soft scan. Yeah. I bet soft scan has got lots of traffic as well.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't think Subscan is able to recognize the contribution. So Subscan
okay.
update the Block Explorer, everything works. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Right. We'll probably get to the. Cool. Yeah, and then once you've completed, you can just like go done, and then you can do it again, or you can use a different wallet to actually do it if you want to. So, okay.
Super cool. So then, do we still have some time for Q&A, or what's the schedule coming up next?
We do. We've got 9 minutes until we hit an hour. I don't think any of us have a hard stop at the top of the hour, so we can see what questions we have over the next 10 minutes and play it by ear. But that was awesome. I think we've got a lot of excited people in the chat.
Oh yeah, some about Ledger. We don't. I mean, this is very important. We don't support Ledger, at least for now. So contribute to the official supported Polkadot.js or the Polkadot.js extension.
Yeah. So someone asking why we ask for registration. That's mainly for people who needed notification. Because as you can see, all of this is like impromptu, right? No one knows when it's happening. So right after this, then it's going to send out emails with the referral link. So that one is like people get notified first instance. And then secondly is you actually get reminded what is your referral code so that you can either use it or share with others. So that's the whole point of registration. None of this is like permission. Even you didn't actually register, you can still participate, right? So.
Cool. Feel free to add your questions to the questions box. I'm going to run through some of these, and I'll try to keep an eye on the chat too. Does early bird
Oh,
count on exchanges?
Do we just open? It's already 5,000 KSM.
Yes.
Sorry. Keep going, Dan.
Wow. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So Rutao, does the early bird count on the exchanges, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think it will. But again, it's up to exchange to decide how they dispute their proceed to their users. Some exchange might decide to dispute 100% to the user. Some exchange might decide to dispute in a different way. There's different reward you can get from different exchanges. So do the research and find which exchange is the best suitable for your needs. But I think almost all the exchanges that we officially support, they will try to pass down the reward to the users.
Okay. Do we have any timing on Poker Wallet when that?
It should be live in any second. So we are doing the final testing, and once the tests are all good, then we will we'll enable the production option within the Poker Wallet mobile app.
Yeah, if you registered without a referral code, there are many people posting their referral code, above you. There's also a show channel in our Discord that people, sharing their referral code with love. The reason being, for whoever is sharing the code, they get 5% and you get 5%, right? So everybody's happy. So you can just grab a referral code from someone if you didn't have one, and then, join now.
I've actually been getting questions recently about PKSM, Betty. The last I told people is that that's on the roadmap. It's not something that we can expect super soon, but you have anything else to comment on that?
Yeah, to actually have a PKSM, a trustless one, right? Because you got to be careful when people are currently saying you can just give them your KSM beforehand, and then they issue you a token. All of those schemes are actually custodial, so which means centralized. They actually take custody of your funds, and then they mint you tokens. Because without a parachain, a live parachain, you cannot do that trustlessly. This is just technically that's how it is. So you just be careful if there are those schemes. Just make sure you understand where those funds are being held in custody, and also what are the consequences of when those funds are not held, trustlessly, right? So just be aware of that. And then the way that we are going to do this is once our parachain is live, we're gonna create a trustless parachain KSM. So in the next crowd loan, when you contribute KSM into for Karura, then you will get minted a PKSM trustlessly on chain, right? And then for your contribution, and then that PKSM then can be actually used on Karura for other DeFi activities. Yeah. Oh well. People start shitting the code.
Wow.
You could have used the chat to ask questions, but it's also okay to show. So.
Subscan's down.
I don't think Subscan is able to properly translate the current contribution events in the Explorer, so they need to update that. Maybe we'll ping the Subscan team to make sure they can decode the contribution event. But for now, don't worry. We'll probably everything, once this website said that you are contributed, there should be already a confirmation that you already participate in the contribution. There's also a way for you to check how much you contributed. Betty just showed that. You can actually use that as a reference to check. Those are all on-chain data. Oh yeah, the question about you can contribute. You can definitely contribute more than once, and the front end you are allowed that as well. So you can actually go back using the same address and contribute again. So there's definitely multiple ways to contribute, and there's definitely one address you can contribute multiple times.
So a not so high tech way to check your contribution is just to track your address in the subscan, right? And then once it goes to your page, you should be able to see, you know, in the extrinsics, which is the transaction, you can see your contribution there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Subscan is getting to work. It's probably working now. I can already see my contribution is being translated correctly.
Yeah. So definitely do that.
Then there's still tons of questions in the Q&A sessions. Maybe we can, we'll definitely.
Yes.
We couldn't answer all of those, but I can address the top asked question now. So Kurua and Acala at some point be bridged together? Yeah, definitely. And the question is that does Acala and Kurua going to become combined into one bigger project at some day? I don't think that's the plan at this stage. So Kurua will be always serving the Kusama community. Acala will be always serving the Polkadot community. There will be definitely bridges between Polkadot and Kusama, so asset can be thrown into Kurua and Acala trustlessly. But I think it's Kurua, at least on short term, will be always serving and act as like the more wild, more experimental playground for the Acala mainnet. So no, it will develop into its own distinctive network, we hope.
Will we be able to stake CAR or ACA with Polkadot.js?
Yes, in the future, once the collator is up, there's some way they can participate. But there's actually a lot more way to participate other than just staking in the Acala
Depends on what you mean by staking.
Yeah, it depends on what you mean by staking. There's actually a lot more way to put your token into work. For example, you can provide liquidity in the DEX, right? And there's so many different ways to participate in the network. So, well, if you're merely mean to get rewards out of your token, yes, there's different way to participate. And staking, vanilla staking, as if you lock the token and nominate to a validator, will be definitely enabled at some stage.
And I just checked Polkadot.js. We just took the lead in the current two teams. So we've got 15,000.
I see people posting, you know, they've contributed 15 KSM. It's awesome. I also did 15. It's awesome.
You guys is yeah, this is a great community. You guys is doing great. Yeah, actually, this is a new paradigm. This is something that why we're so excited, right? So to support the project, stake the token against the project that you support, to create synergy between Kusama, which is essentially the layer 0, and our chain, the Kurua chain, which is layer 1. It has never been done before, and well, we think this is a new paradigm that we're actually writing history here.
Yeah, so I think we're doing a number of things like never done before, right? One is the Crowdloan scheme. We've mentioned many times that we want to set a new paradigm that it's a reverse ICO, right? So this is how we can actually bootstrap a whole community, you know, without taking your valuable coins, right? And then there's also meaningful staking as well. I think it's going to trickle up because if you are a KSM holder, the first thing you want to see is the KSM community go beyond just staking. It has some real utility beyond just staking, providing security. And that is through supporting parachains that has real utility, you know, applications, activities, users, etc. So I think that is the sort of the new way forward is the Crowdloan way. More ethical sort of way to actually launch your chain. And then, of course, secondly, is to build Acala, right? I think through build Acala, one thing I didn't mention is the team doesn't take your DOT or any of your funds. All of the funding through build Acala goes on-chain to the on-chain Acala treasury, which is collectively kind of like controlled by the AC holders again, right? So you're basically doing a token swap into the treasury, and then we can collectively deploy those funds so that we can better moving our chain forward, whether that's to sustain the operation or to bootstrap the network. And yeah, so that's also a new way that all the funding will be like donating onto the Acala treasury. So that's Build Acala. Of course, the limelight today is Crowdloan. So I think we'll spend some other time to go through a bit more detail on Build Acala, but it is going to happen. We're hoping to launch it like right after Karura launch, right? So someone asking, we are going to use the same platform as we used last time for Build Acala 1. And there's quite a number of improvements that we've made. But yeah, and it's probably only going to be in a week or two that we're going to have more specific details on time and etc. So get prepared. So.
Got someone asking about, is the Crowdloan open to all countries?
Well, the front end does not provide strict KYC checking or something. It's trustless. You can do it in a number of different places. So essentially, it's a decentralized operation, I would say.
Yeah, you do need to agree the terms and conditions. You do need to read it and agree to the terms and conditions. And then for people who participated without agreeing the terms and conditions, for example, if you directly do it on Polkadot.js, there will be a claim process once we launch. So for those who's done it, agree to the terms and conditions, your token will be just distributed once we live and once we start distributing. For those who contributed otherwise, you still have to go through the claim process and agree to the terms and conditions, and then we will be able to distribute the tokens to you. So.
So I think someone, Alessandro, in the chat just confirmed, and I think I just saw this as well, that Kraken is live.
All right.
Already, I'm checking on that right now. Couldn't find it, but yeah, Kraken is one of the official supported exchange, and if Kraken's live, you can participate through Kraken as well if you are a Kraken user. Super awesome.
Kim said that Fearless is already live. And then I believe Polka Wallet is live now too, right?
Refreshing the app now.
This is awesome.
Oh yeah, so the Kraken front end is definitely live. You can contribute through their prior transaction, which is something new in the End tab. Awesome, good work, Kraken.
Yeah, Bradley Witten, this is a question that we've gotten sometimes. So it's a good question. If you've seen any of the blogs or the videos about the Crowdloan, you may have seen how the first 2 days of the auction, the winner cannot be selected. And then the 5 last days of the auction, the winner could be randomly selected at any time, but we don't know the winner until the end of the 7th day. But your question is, like, say for example, Karura, our bid was 150, and then you contributed after that block, that point in time where we were selected as the winner. Would the excess KSM that we didn't need in our bid be returned to you? The answer is no. So anything contributed to our Crowdloan until the end of the auction will be honored in the process where we're actually distributing KAR. So it's not a problem if you contribute after we're selected. And we won't know that until the end of the 7th day. Let me know if that makes sense, Bradley.
Yeah, so it's important that if you really want to help make history together, contribute before the auction happens. That will be the safest, because as soon as the auction happen, if we pass the first 2 days, which is called a save time, then we'll go into a unknown period, because anyone who's if we're actually losing at any point in time after the 2 days during the auction, if the random timer stops at that time, then we could still run into the risk of losing, right? So I think this sort of the arrangement for the auction is just to encourage honesty and then putting our best effort forward. So that's why we actually start the crowd loan as soon as we can, as soon as we feel safe, basically, and then so that everyone can actually participate at their earliest. There's still no hurry, but we should put in our best effort during the next 7 days. So,
Vlad, I don't know if you just got here, but yes, the crowd loan is live. You can go back and watch the recording where Betty walked through how to do everything.
Yeah.
All right. We can take a couple more questions. I kind of think we should get going. I need to send out all these emails and really kick things off.
Yeah, probably like 3 more questions, and then we will be returning to our busy position. So this is the beginning, folks. Once the crowd loan is done, once Kurua is launched, there's a tons of other stuff that we need to continue to carry on working. Yeah.
Cool. It's actually a good question. Who asked that? VS asked, how do we check who's in the lead? Because we are in the very, very early days of Kusama and Polkadot, there are no I would say, I don't know, professionally made websites for tracking all this stuff in terms of websites that we're used to using. So I'm going to paste a link here. Polkadot.js, this /crowdloan, that's the best place to go right now to track the progress of each crowd loan that's open. In the future, and I actually was talking to people about this today, there's people working on websites that are going to show the current standings in the crowd loan, who's winning the auctions, but that's not built yet because we're very early. It's 2021. This stuff's going to be going on for years, so it'll be kind of funny to look back at this launch and how little tools there are right now. Where can we get an Acala t-shirt? We're working on it. It's almost done. So try to find us at an event. There's more meetups and stuff happening soon. So there may be other ways to get t-shirts as well. So we'll keep you updated.
One more questions.
There's more. Let me see. Most of these questions we've already answered. Oh, this is a good question that we haven't talked about. James said, how long will the crowd loan KSM be held if you don't win the first auction? So he's basically asking, what's the crowd loan duration so that we can attempt to win auction 2 or 3 if we don't win the first?
Let's get Brian to answer it.
Yeah. Maybe Brian can answer this one.
So the crowd loan is designed to bid for the lease 13 to 20. So each lease is 6 weeks. So this means the crowd loan will end soon as the list 13 is finished, because there is no longer possible to bid list 13 because, well, it's already finished. So our crowdloan will end in, like, if you go to the Polkadot.js, the parachain page, the crowdloans page, you can see there's actually an ending session. So it's currently saying 44 days and 4 hours. So that is the ending time. So that means if Kurua failed to secure a slot, and then after 44 days, you'll be able to reclaim, well, all the case contribution will be refunded to your account.
Okay, so 44 days. And yeah, and the first 5 auctions are going to be 5 weeks back to back. So it would be, I think, all 5 of those.
We don't know how much we need to raise for the crowdloan. This is auction, so we just need to make sure collectively that we are leading all the way. Yeah. Oh,
awesome.
have you guys seen the Polka wallet?
No.
Well,
Okay, there we go. Okay, so if
Nice.
you actually go to Polka Wallet and there's a banner at the bottom, and then if you click on it, you see this, right? And then basically it's the same process that you sign it, and then, oh, am I gonna review my password on screen?
maybe no.
And then I couldn't figure out my password. Yeah, but it's live, so you guys should be able to actually refresh the app or restart the app, and then you'll be able to get to the screen and then be able to contribute through Polka Wallet as well. And then I think I checked a Fearless Wallet as well, and they've got crowdloan started as well. And the same thing, Fearless also supported the referral bonuses as well, so you can contribute there as well. So yeah. Okay, that's the last thing, I think, from my side.
All right, let's wrap it up. So that was a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. This has been an overview of Karura, and obviously you saw a lot about the crowdloan that somehow ended up being timed perfectly with this event with all of you. So there's, I think, around like 600 or 700 people were on live with us, and several others have registered. So thanks for taking the time. I know some people it's really late or it's super early, so we appreciate you joining us, and let's win this first auction.
Let's do it.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.